We begin in the Pendleton Whiskey Buck and Shoot.
Ryan Solo has a lot of intensity.
The kick on this one.
Skid to the eight. Come on.
All day long.
It was coming at me, yo.
Yeah, tap the shit out of him.
The guy was coming at me crazy.
What?
Wait, think I was taking a picture right now.
I don't matter.
Maybach music.
Can anybody out there hear me? Hear me? 'Cause I just wanna...
On this team, we fight for that itch. On this team, we tear ourselves and everyone else around us to pieces for that itch.
Coming in at 320 kilobytes per second, it's time for MattieC's Sports for you and me.
What the fuck is up? They ain't touching me for nothing. Gang shit is not my business. I ain't not the one to fuck with.
All right, everybody, MattieC Sports for you and me. So as you all know, we cover everything sports. Right here, I got Paul Guarino. I said it right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. This guy is totally a complete hustler, and he owns PGS Sports, which he created. And how you doing this afternoon, man?
I'm doing good. How about you? Appreciate you having me on.
Anytime, man. So, man, you started at a young age with this, and it's grown to what it is now. And I see all the respect you give to all the athletes you talk to, and like who you are working with. So, where did this all start, man?
Yeah. So I started back in 2011 when I was 19 in college. I always wanted to be a sports agent, so I created a Twitter page, PG Sports, and then from there, I just kept on doing different things. I mean, I still make clothing and stuff like that, so it kind of took off, and then I just got I think it was over 200 pro athletes to wear my stuff. I'm from Connecticut, so I would reach out to Connecticut pro athletes and try to get them to wear my gear. And this was back in 2012, 13, 14. So this was before influencer marketing was a term. So I was kind of doing that beforehand. And then from there, just built relationships with the athletes. And then now I work as anything from business manager, marketing manager, their manager, day-to-day stuff, pretty much anything.
So, I mean, and you built all this pretty much around your college years as well?
Yeah, so I mean, the first 4 or 5 years of it was during college. Yeah.
And man, you started this out in 2011. I mean, you were 19 years old. I mean, did you expect it to rise so quick?
I didn't really know what I was doing, to be honest, but I knew I wanted to work with athletes, and yeah, I think people liked the apparel, so that kind of took off. I did a bunch of learned about fabrics and all different stuff, things I never thought I would be learning about. Got trademarks for those things as well. And so I guess to answer your question, not really.
That's the same with me, man. I mean, a lot of people don't understand like what you went through to go through this. It's not an easy task of, you just get a t-shirt and you just print it right off. Like this is a lot of work, and this is like you said, like you figuring out fabrics. I have no idea with that, man. I mean, I don't even know what this is called. So
Yeah,
um so I mean, like, and the other thing, like, then you jumped into podcasting, from average to savage. And was that around 2018, you said?
yeah, 2018.
So in that matter, podcasting is a whole nother thing too, because I mean, I started in 2020 and people don't understand that either. Like, yeah, you can have a computer and a mic and whatever, but it's the audience and who likes it, and and the happy thing for me is like going to events. Like never did I ever think I was going to talk to Stanley Cup champions and Super Bowl champions and stuff like that. So I mean, you have the same kind of stuff. So I mean, like, when you do this stuff, does it mean a lot when you're like, oh my God, I'm actually talking to like pro athletes? Like, I mean, do you feel the same way?
So around 2000, I think it was 14. One of the first athletes to wear my stuff was Cincinnati Reds second baseman at the time, Brandon Phillips. And it was like he was playing at the Mets. So like I said, I'm from Connecticut. So I was like, let me check. It was like the day before, and I ended up getting like front row seats for like $100, which was like nuts. And then I met him, and like I didn't tell him who I was at first. Like I just asked him to, like, sign the baseball I had. And then he looked at my hat and he was like, "Yo, I have that hat too." And I was like, "Yeah, no, I sent it to you." And then he was like, "Oh, what's up, man?" Blah blah blah. So like after that day, I couldn't be a fan anymore. Like I needed to be like a business person. They're my peers and things like that. So that changed my mindset of things. So to answer that question about getting like I don't, not really anymore. Like 95% of the time, no. The only person I'd say, and he was like my favorite artist, rapper, whatever you want to call him, is Nelly, and I got him on. So that was probably like the only time, but even not really, because like at the end I told him how like I'm a big supporter and things like that, and he didn't even like he didn't even know, like, in terms of the interview and stuff based on the interview. So that was cool, and yeah, that almost like I fulfilled my goal for that. And I almost like thought about stop podcasting because I was like, I got the number one guy I want to get. Like, I don't know who else would like fulfill that feeling. So yeah, that's that.
Well, you can't complain about Country Grammar, man. That was one of the
Yeah.
best albums ever, man.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and everyone always looks at me crazy when I say it, and I'm like, yo, his songs are still played in every stadium every year, like every time,
Number one is absolutely number one in
Yeah.
every stadium, every arena. Like you can hear that all the time, or you hear Country Grammar itself, and people, especially in St. Louis. I mean,
Yeah.
he's huge over there, so I can hear that, man. I mean, so back to business, man. I mean, so with the athletes that you have, I mean, like I said to you yesterday, we were talking yesterday. When I saw the video with Mike Kimball and Cordell, and they were talking about how much they mean to you, I mean, that hit me, because I'm like, damn, like this guy really is looking out for people, and he genuinely cares about people and treats them as friends and not like, client or representative. So like, how did that, like, that particular like video mean to you?
Yeah. Yeah, so that was dope just to hear them say those words, and yeah, like that's how I like to treat people. I don't want to treat them like, I mean, I instead of even client, like I kind of like don't even like to use those words because I just feel like clients and my fighter and things like that doesn't sound right. I like to call them like partners, because they are partners of my business technically. And yeah, like even Mike, I think back, I've been working with him since his pro debut in MMA, so like when he was 20 years old, so it's crazy. And I'm pretty sure he's the one that kind of taught me or said like one time about fans versus supporters, and that's why even before you heard me say it's the supporters, like I don't like using fans either. Like they're supporters.
I hear you, man. And I'm fortunate enough to, like you said, I don't like to use the word sponsorship type of deal. Um, I've used it in some of my interviews, but to me, it's more a friendship to me. You know what I mean? Like, because that's something like, it's kind of an honor type of thing for me. Like, going into this, like I have two MMA fighters that I'm working with, but they treat me as a friend more than, like a sponsor. So that's like big for me because I never in a million years did I ever think I was going to do this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a hustle in its own, and it's good stuff. And like to see things live. I mean, little did I know you were at the same exact fight I was. You were at CES Winter Brawl,
Yeah.
and Cordell had a great night, and I swear the state of New York was in the building for Mike. I mean that whole. So I was at the press table on the right side. His fans were going nuts in there. It was
Yeah.
absolutely crazy. So I
Yeah.
mean, like for sure, like that, like when you see like the people you interview, like either winning fights or like winning events, like is that like, well, damn, like this is like true reality. Like I'm seeing these people like do amazing things, and like I've been talking to these people and helping out, and partners, friends, whatever you want to call it, and like seeing it face to face is amazing. That's how how I feel with all of that.
Yeah, I mean, getting those wins is the cherry on top of the sundae of all the hard work we did to even get the fights and sell the tickets. Like, I don't think people realize, like, this isn't we're not on ESPN or whatever. We had to sell tickets, like, and them two combined sold the most tickets. They were the top two ticket sellers. They sold over 400 tickets combined. So I don't think people realize, like, they're hustling. They were going out at midnight to go drive to go get people tickets. So like people don't realize that, and then all the medicals and things like that you have to get. People don't know all the behind the scenes stuff besides like obviously training and stuff, but what about all the other variables that could happen in the opponents and things like that. So yeah, it's just getting that win, it was like super satisfying.
Yeah, and I mean Cordell, like you said, he had the left, Mike had the right, and then they had the other fans as well. So it was amazing to see. And Cordell's a super nice guy. I've had him on my show myself, and I was like, I messaged him and I said, "Oh, great work in there. You did a great job and stuff." And then like the funny thing was, I was like, Cordell, did you like my article? Like, did you like my article? and he didn't get back to me, but he's a good dude right there. I'm glad you got a partnership with him, man.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's a really good dude. Like him and Mike just met because I just started managing Cordell in December, so him and Mike just met. He helped out Mike too that night. We had Cordell's cut man in there too, so because Mike's cut man and stuff was we just had it. That's why there was so many things that went like wrong in terms of that, but everything went right at the end with both wins.
Is there any other ventures you're going through right now in your brand?
Not anything specifically. I mean, I do a bunch of different things like you kind of already mentioned, and I'm into NFTs as well. So that's like another venture. I had did my own NFTs as well too. So, but no, just kind of working with athletes and building their brands and off the field and things like that.
And there was something really cool I saw, like you had the 30-day challenge for questions to ask yourself. And it kind of intrigued me because I was like, these are questions that like I should be answering myself to like motivate yourself. And I feel like more people should do that. So like when I saw yours, I was like, damn, like this guy really like has all around positivity for the most part. I don't particularly know you, but it like from all you do in your pages and all your stuff is all positivity.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, I like even that because it's hard to post every day. And when I first did it, I was like, all right, this is gonna be kind of hard. But then like if I have 30 questions, then it's easy because then it's like, you have to answer the question. So it's like pretty simple. So that was cool to do. And yeah, I mean, I don't like to only show the wins either. Like I like to show like things I'm going through and other things too, just because like people like I'm not like that's one thing about Instagram is like people like to just show positive things or like post in front of exotic cars and things like that. And so that's not reality though.
Well, your stuff is good just because, like, it's not that you say like negative things, but if you are having a tough day, which I've seen a couple of your posts, but
Mhm.
you don't sit down and be down on it. You kind of like, well, we'll get through this, and we're gonna do
Yeah.
okay in here. So like, I just appreciate your positivity that you spread out and what you've done from what I've seen. So like, I was like, I gotta message this guy and tell him what's up.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
um, so is there any more goals that you want to accomplish? Maybe within this year, or maybe going a little bit more into the future?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to just continue to building my brand and my company with more athletes and things like that. And then yeah, just kind of I really one of my goals is I don't work with any MLB players, so that's one thing. And I grew up like a huge baseball fan, and I want to work with like more NBA players as well.
And dude, it's so hard to get these athletes of that caliber. And
Yeah.
coming from me, I mean, I've interviewed like hockey players and stuff, but a lot of the retired hockey players are easy to get to. Now, in the case of NFL or NBA or NHL, it's a little bit difficult because you have to go through the organization, you have to go through the agent, then you go to the actual player. And it's like, my God, I just spent half a year trying to get this guy on my show.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are kind of open to it as long as you know everything's good too. Like, they have to vet your podcast or show out too just to see things like that. But yeah, I definitely feel you too.
And with other things, I mean, you market yourself pretty well, man, like with the graphic designs and stuff like that. How did you get so many, like, you got like everything, man. You
Appreciate
got
that.
graphic designers, you got music, you got like, goddamn, man, you're a hustler, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean that's what I pride myself on is branding and just pretty much making everything look good as well, like aesthetically. That's just like one thing I really pride myself on. I think I'm like very creative, and I think that's like an underrated thing. Like I don't really say that publicly, like out loud, but I know that I am, and I know like what looks good and things like that. I don't know, just like a thing, and I think that also comes into play when like knowing talent too. It's just like I don't know, like even it might not be like how they perform in their sport. Like obviously, like they're good, but like I think it's like I could tell by their persona and things like that, like what could sell and if they're a good person as well. Like it's kind of crazy to say that most of the people that I work with like have been like extremely like nice and all that stuff too. So like I don't know if it's just like I'm picking out the right people or it's just like I don't know. It's just a good thing.
Well, you didn't even have to pick me out. I picked you out. So,
Yeah.
but my final question to you, Paul, is you know, um, where can everybody find you? Like where if like through Instagram, through anything like that, or even
Yeah.
your merch, because I found your merch and it's dope.
Thanks. Appreciate that too. Yeah, so my favorite platform is definitely Twitter. You can follow me there. PG Sports is the handle for Twitter and Instagram, and then my personal is just PCG7. So you guys could follow me, and I'm always open to like people if they want to message me and ask me questions and things like that. Pretty much always open unless it's something crazy that I'm not gonna answer. But yeah.
Well, I won't ask you crazy questions, bro.
Yeah,
But
for sure. Appreciate it.
But Paul, thank you so much for joining the show, and I'll hope to have you on again, and maybe we'll talk about current fights that are going to go on, and we'll collab with one of your athletes or whatever you venture into, because I'm sure you got a lot cooking.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, appreciate you having me on.
All right, everybody, this is MattieC Sports. Paul Guarino. Look out for him, because he'll be around.
Thanks for watching MattieC Sports for You and Me. Make sure to follow MattieC on Matt Cameron 23 on Twitter, MattieC23 on Instagram, and subscribe to MattieC Sports for You and Me on YouTube.
What the fuck is up? They ain't touching me for nothing. Gang shit is not my business. I ain't not the one to fuck with. I bring the flow with lyrical stamina, rapping a million miles. One point I'm an animal, then I'm a cannibal, taking my pick and I pounce. Bold and serious, cold amphibious track murderer. A cup I need by no one, so I got my back. Vertebra, the heat is up, extinguisher. I got the track burning up. Don't think to touch 6 feet's enough to get the match to combust. Diamond, strike it, ignite on any gift and surface solid. Callous, symbols that come from